고통에서 떨어진 채 몰락한 병이야. 우리가 찾던 바로 그것이다.
Hello there, and what is existence? My name is G.C.Nightwalker, and I make videos sometimes, very sometimes. Yeah, life has been difficult. PhD has not been easy, and I think I can be forgiven if I prioritize my career over my YouTube. So I'm not exactly earning from it right now. I do plan to continue making videos, and this game in particular kind of forced me to make this video in a certain sense, and I'll get to it. The first Berserker Khazan. It's a game that I'm pretty sure most of you have already heard of if you've clicked on this video or if this video got recommended to you. It's a game which is, in no small sense of the word, is Souls-like, and it also has some elements of Sekiro. Not only because of its inherently Souls-like checkpoint system and parry system, but also because Ongbal the Conqueror has made a video on it, and that is how I found out that this game even existed in the first place. Legit, I did not know that this game was a thing, and now I want to die. Now that I somehow found out about this, I wanted to play the demo and I wanted to make a video on it, but then again life kept happening. At the time of recording, I think the game is actually out. I wouldn't know that because this game had a deluxe edition 3-day early access, and it has been active for me ever since. When did this become a thing in the games industry? Early access, like, it used to mean something. Early access means you are still preparing the game and it's being developed actively as you are playing it. 3 days early access is not early access. It's early privilege because you paid more. Shady business practices aside, this game is very interesting, and I think it's about time I got to the point of why. Apart from Dark Souls and Sekiro and all of that, it reminds me heavily of Darksiders. Now, for those of you who have not heard what Darksiders is, Darksiders was a game made by THQ Nordic and Vigil Games back in 2010. It was among the slew of God of War like hack and slash games which was coming out at that time. Dante's Inferno and other games. I'm sorry, I'm not well versed because back in the day I didn't actually play God of War. I only got into it when it came out on PC. I know I'm a PC gamer and I'm not ashamed of it. The main thing is Darksiders is a story of the Christian apocalypse in a certain sense. If you have read the Bible, you would be aware that there are these things called the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Other places where they have appeared is this movie called The Cabin, and they have appeared in popular media throughout. Like they appeared in that game called Six Guns, which was like a mobile game. The 4 horsemen, I think in no particular order, are war, death, pestilence, and conquest. In the mythology of Darksiders, pestilence and conquest have been replaced by strife and fury, because ultimately you're going to be playing as these horsemen, and how do you play as pestilence? Like, how do you make disease interesting? If you want a more in-depth review on Darksiders, then White Light has made a video on Darksiders 2, and it's one of the better reviews, I would say. In the time of its release, Darksiders was called a mishmash of Zelda and God of War, and I certainly can understand where that comparison comes from. But the comparison I am trying to make here is that in the beginning of Darksiders, and spoilers for a 10-year-old game, by the way, if any of you want to play that game and come back to the video, I completely understand. I say as if anyone ever watches my videos. In the beginning of Darksiders, War, the horseman, he is summoned at what is actually the apocalypse, the Christian apocalypse. Angels and demons are fighting each other, and it happens in the modern day and age. War fights to the apocalypse, and as the apocalypse keeps going, he slowly and slowly loses his power, and eventually he is taken out by this big demon called Straga, and he is then resurrected and put forth in front of the Charred Council, who then blame him for riding too early before the seven seals were broken, by doing so triggering the apocalypse earlier and therefore causing the death of humanity, because humanity was not yet ready for Judgment Day. So as the story progresses, you kind of realize that War and the other horsemen are being manipulated, and there was a call, just wasn't in the way of breaking of the seven seals, in a sense that the Charred Council knew of a plot, and I don't want to spoil the entire story, but in order to foil that plot, they deliberately framed War in order to sort of make sure that he will be the judge, jury, and executioner for them. Throughout the game, there is this Watcher character voiced by Mark Hamill, and absolutely amazing voice work, by the way. Cannot imagine Luke Skywalker speaking like this.
Watcher is bound to you. It will ensure your loyalty.
Looks like our trajectory was a little off. Not so fast, horseman. Let's lay down a few ground rules. Until this is over, you're a dog on a leash. I say bark, you bark. And if I have to kick you, you'd better not bare your teeth. Understand? Remember that? Or I will really get under your skin. Or should I teach you to play dead? Good boy. Because now, there's a teeny little bit of me in you too. That's...
He's possessed by this Watcher character who sort of guides him and who's supposed to be his, well, watchman for Charred Council to see that he doesn't stray off the path and all of those things. And this entire game is sort of him going after all the people that have actually done the wrong, who have wronged him in a sense. And he goes and fights, has multiple amazing boss battles because of it. Now, if you look at the beginning of first BERSERKER KHAZAN, it's a disgraced warrior. He is possessed by a soul, and then he goes and fights somebody, faints, is brought in front of someone who nurses him back to health. Now he sets off in a path to at first purge himself of the spirit, but then he makes a pact with the spirit in order to defeat his enemies better. Now Darksiders also has a moment like this. Instead of making a pact with the spirit possessing him, instead of making a pact with the Watcher, there's a point where War becomes enraged by the words of Samael, who is a demon or a fallen angel. And in this mythology, Lucifer and Samael are different, but he becomes enraged by the words of Samael and he hits the Watcher, releasing some of his hold on him and unlocking his chaos form. I believe that the demo ended at the point where you fight Blade Phantom and take on his power, but I believe after that point more of his skills are unlocked, I would believe. And while it is true that the person nursing Khazan back to health is not manipulating Khazan, at least to my knowledge, maybe something will come out. It's definitely not the council of the entire universe like the Charred Council. In that aspect, this beginning is more like the beginning of Darksiders 2, where the people bringing him back to life are the makers. All of that said, you must look at the art style. I mean, the art style similarities just cannot be overlooked. The reason I'm making this video is because it is difficult being a Darksiders fan. This franchise has suffered immensely. Like, the first game was not really that well received. There were problems with it, but then the second game came out and people loved it. But then the company went bankrupt. There was like a 5-year, 6-year gap, and then Darksiders 3 came out. And while that was still panned by some people, some other people, like, I think it was Killer, don't quote me on that, but some other people got the fact that this is a bankrupt company trying to make its comeback and a dying franchise getting its chance. And in that context, in the context of the underdog, Darksiders 3 is actually a pretty amazing game. It is also a Dark Souls-like. And the thing about Darksiders that I really like is when you get to play as the 4 horsemen, each of the horsemen has their own playstyle. Like, the first one is more of a Zelda God of War hack and slash-ish. Second one is an RPG and more into its Zelda roots. The third one is, of course, a Soulslike. And then when you get to the one side game that they have released, which is Darksiders Genesis, that is a 2D top-down action-adventure game. But it's very difficult being a Darksiders fan because this franchise, the story is just left incomplete. At the end of Darksiders 1, you see War with the 7th seal broken. You see all the horsemen coming and you think that they're going to fight against the Charred Council. And that was going to be the original Darksiders 3, but then nothing happened. And I don't know, Darksiders Genesis was pre-COVID. Post-COVID, there has been no news for Darksiders 4. There has been, hopefully we get that Strife game someday. But up until that time, Darksiders fans, I am telling you, play first Berserker Khazan. First Berserker Khazan, not just in the art style, but in the gameplay, it very much feels like Darksiders and Darksiders 2 meets Soulslike and Sekiro. And that's it. That's the video. I have not even completed the fight of the part until the Blade Phantom. I've just reached until the first boss fight, and I know that's for somebody who apparently plays a lot of Souls-like games, that's really embarrassing. But at this point, I just wanted to get a video out because I've been putting this off for looking for the perfect moment for so long. Hopefully, I can be more regular. But other than that, I think I'm working currently on a video about mods. And you must have seen I uploaded a video of the comic region comic mod of Spider-Man. I was gonna make that video then, but yeah, I don't know. I will, as I said, I'll try to be more regular from now on. I have been active on my socials and I've been active on my blog. So if you guys want to catch up with me there, I write blogs about TV shows and movies that I watch. It's www.nightwalkergc.com if you want to check it out. Other than that, I am an author. I have written 2 novels. The first one being Dreams of Perfection and the second one being Sword and Flame. Sword and Flame is not really a novel. It does 101 pages count as a novel. It's a short story. It doesn't matter. It has chapters, but yeah, they are both connected. They are both dark fantasy and science fiction. If you like this kind of content, then give this video a like, share this with your friends, leave a comment down below with thoughts and other wonderful stuff, and please hit the subscribe button with the bell icon, all notifications turned on. I promise I will be more regular, and that's it. Have a great day or night or wherever you are. I'm here. It's nice. Whatever.